Barry, in the previous part, you quite neatly led up to my next question. You said that you were used to standing the favourites of 2-3 grand or more. Now, should it always be the favourite that you stand? Is there any reason why it wouldn't be the favourite?
No, it shouldn't always be the favourite. It's just generally that's the horse that's easiest to lay, isn't it? Not always. Sometimes it could be the second in. I would never say the 10 to 1 chance for a few grand, because it's too cheap to get out of it, isn't it? If it's 10 to 1, you've only got to have 200 quid in it and you're out of it. But my endeavour would be to have laid, on average, or often used to ask the clerk this, what have I laid that down? And he'd tell me the average price I'd laid on the favourite all the way through. And that made a big difference, like, you know what I mean, when we come to the loading in the last few seconds of the race. Say you laid just under 6 to 4, and it was 6 to 4 fairly offered. I'd put the 6 to 4 back on the board, hoping that somebody'd have a few hundred quid on it at 6 to 4. Thinking that overall I'm alright because I'm well within the percentages that I should be playing to. So it means a lot to me, the price that I'm about to lay. If over the course of the year I manage to lay under the odds of favourite, I'm going to win, aren't I? Regardless of who wants to be on the favourite and when it was back. I will win laying the favourites shorter than their return price.
Yeah. Now, if a favourite was extremely hard to get in the book, and you still couldn't get it in the book, would you get to work on the others, or would you leave the race?
I'd just leave the race go. Just swallow the race. Except that if 6 to 4 out to 5 to 2, what could I do about it? Have I laid anything else in the race of substantial? I must have laid something, must I? If the favourite's 6 to 4 out to 5 to 2, I must be laying something. But I would have, if I've laid 3 to 1, something that's now 9 to 4, that's it. That's now the new favourite to me, like, you know, I mean, I can't help it. That's the one they've backed. I've got to stand that. I cannot go and hedge anywhere, and I've laid 3 to 1 it. I'll have to get it beat.
Now, you mentioned in the previous interview we did, say 3 years ago, that you always had people trying to do you favours in inverted commas by telling you one that was, you know, fancied or whatever. Was having a card marker, even if you really respected them, recommended lean ups, the favourites and the short ones, a hindrance, or would you, you know, sometimes would it be worth?
Well, I didn't hear what they said. It goes in. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do that, mate. Thanks very much," but it's gone straight out the other ear. Did I tell you in the last people and favourites? Dave Johnson, my friend who's passed away now. We was in David's helicopter travelling to Fontwell, and he was on the phone talking to Martin.
Pipe, that would be, for anyone that doesn't know, yeah.
Right, and it was quite open, open about the conversation, and they had now got this thing that was a certainty. One of David's running in some race, ridden by somebody called McCoy. Looked like being favourite. So Dave said, "Could you put 20,000 on this for me, please, Barry?" Yeah, no problem, Dave. Now, my normal plan of attack would be put £20,000 in the book and forget about edging it. And I half got caught up in the conversation, really. They want 20,000 on this. Tony McCoy, Mountain Pipe, David Johnson. What you taking, leaving your senses, Barry? You want to stand this for 30 or 40 grand? I hedged a lot and got beat. Never again. I said never, never, never again. owners, trainers, slightly get carried away with their own horses, don't they? And they see something that, yeah, they're right on occasions, especially that combination.
Yeah.
They were right quite often, but not that I wanted to go all out for them.
Right, I'm going to leapfrog a question here now, Barry, because you mentioned hedging there, and you've also mentioned hedging earlier. Never hedge. Now, at the time of interview, we're just getting we're at the anniversary of Frankie Dettori.
Oh yes.
So I mean, if
Today,
anybody had thought then that day, we never hedge all these, there'd have been a lot of ruined people, wouldn't there?
Yeah,
so I mean,
be, yeah.
what is your, what is the actual practicalities behind the theory of hedging? What do you think about it over time?
You've got to improve the odds in your book of your percentages. You've got to improve your percentages. If you see a liability coming up for more than you're prepared to stand it for, and you can back it back and earn enough out of it to improve the percentages you've stood it for, yes, you'll have to swallow it and hedge. But generally, the hedgers are there standing it for and making a profit out of you. Overall, I don't think hedging, you win. Tell you where I've been proved wrong. My son Daniel now, I said he doesn't say too much, but he says, yeah, but we're winning 40 grand on exchanges this year, Dad, hedging. I said, we're winning hedging? He said, yeah. So, I have got a bit of advantage, haven't I, that I'm taking shrewd bets, and Daniel doesn't listen to me anymore. He knows more than me because he's been working for 20 years, and I've only been in the game 100 years. And so he hedges without me telling him to. And we're winning £46,000 this year on the hedging he's done. So it must be possible, but then again, he would have known what horses I'd laid that were very live, from the people that I'd laid it to, were live cookies.
Yeah, right. Now, you talked about live cookies. So, how long would you give a punter a spin before deciding he's too hot for you? Or would you, like, I know you said before that you'd never knock them back. You might knock them back, but you wouldn't not lay them bet. And would you like off the stool? If Barney Curley backed him, would you off and have it in the back row back for yourself?
Oh, not for myself, but for the book, a different thing. When Barney had bets for me, it depends how he had it, what time of the race he had it, how much it was. He frequently had £1,000 bets for me, I didn't do anything about it. But suddenly when he wants £5,000 or £10,000 a one, I would think, Barry, you want to be out of some of this. This ain't the right thing to be. So I would have, not me personally, off the stall. Generally the staff would be gone, and they'd come back and report what they had. So, yeah, very hot cookies. Even as what I said earlier, Dudley Robinson, Johnny Lights. If I can get back what they've just had with me, I know that I'm on the right side, because that's going to shorten. And Barney never ever done me up bad. He'd lose on the 1,000. That's what I said. He'd have £1,000, £2,000 a one, and I just treat it like any other punter. But depending on the race, the type of the race, and how much he had, whether I would react to it or not.
Okay, now if somebody, Barney Curley, Johnny Lights, Dudley Roberts, well, if somebody suddenly appears and they seem to have the crystal bloody ball in their back, in winner after winner after winner, how long do you give them a spin before you think, right, now I've got to pull up the drawbridge a bit here? Because people have lucky runs, don't they?
I've got almost exactly the example you need. About 2 years ago, no, it might be 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago at Lingfield, the geezer started turning up. We nicknamed him Curly, because you don't know their names here. We nicknamed him Curly. Guess why? He was bald. So He used to go underneath and come out with a pint of beer, smoking some weird smoking and smelling smoke, and reading the Daily Mirror, spot form. And he only ever backed horses that were bigger than 5 to 1, but frequently 8, 10, 12, 16 to 1. Every race. Not occasional, every race. Well, he's losing running. He has got to lose. Well, he won £100,000 in the next 3 months. I said, don't worry, he's a lose. He said, how can you do this? This can't be done. I'm now asking the staff the question that I know the answer to myself, but anyway, it went on for the whole of the all-weather season. So he come back again the next all-weather season and started doing the same. This cannot happen. You can't back winners at 8 and 10 and 12 to 1 on a regular basis and win, can you? So it took 3 years before eventually I started beating him, and he turns up regularly now still, but no fear anymore. I'm not sure I've ever got the money back that I lost to him over that period, but he backs losers more often now. But he did have one lucky spell.